Do this. And can you hear me? Hello, hello?
This is all of Adam's technical difficulties
Yeah, I know.
of
It's me
setting up
trying
the
to use
stream
your
on his setup.
scene. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Now, can you hear Brian now?
Can you hear me? And I don't know if that's going to be different.
Okay.
All right, you'll have to play around with the levels if you don't guys don't hear me perfectly, but it just means I'll have to play around with all my scenes later. Okay, um, yeah. So hey, we're back. I wanted to jump right back in. So people seemed pretty happy. Am I too I'm too loud.
Okay, let's turn you down. I'm going to see if I can turn myself up at all to sort of compensate as well. Okay, you can keep talking. I'll work on that.
So the whole combat, maybe I should talk quieter. The whole I think people were pretty happy, uh, although tons of questions about what would happen if they introduced mm, goblin villages, for lack of a better term, into the game. Yeah, you wouldn't want them to get everywhere. There's got to be some kind of rule set, some limitations to what would happen if they were around and like building these things. Uh, I feel it's not entirely like a worm-based system. It would be fun to have these villages around
So you're
that you
talking
can
now
go and
about like
pillage.
the
Goblin
goblin
villages.
villages. Yeah, I think that'd be great. Why do you think that would go against Worm, like the essence of Worm?
Because Worm is supposed to be this like untouched, pristine land that had this whole history that the players created.
I mean, I can see that, but at the same time, so I guess what you're saying is like, let's say you start a brand new server, and it would be like if you built nothing, all of a sudden these little structures would start popping up because these goblins are sort of like building their stuff.
Yeah,
I see. And then you can no longer say everything in Worm that's built is built by players.
right.
I suppose I can see that.
Is that problematic? And the second thing is my beard problematic in the game?
You mean how it clips through your body?
Maybe just maybe I need to take off my hat here. There we go.
You know, on a somewhat related note, but completely not related, when I was watching Catspur's stream and I was looking at the animation of the wings of the Drake, I noticed that it has, you know, like how a bat's wings or a dragon's wings, they have like the finger portion that has the bones in it, and then there's like a webbing in between those. And I noticed that the webbing kind of flows, like it's kind of curved, and as the animation moves, the webbing kind of like flows, almost how you would imagine, let's say, a cape would flow or should flow.
Interesting.
So,
So are you getting at something here?
yeah, so as I said, there's like, it's kind of connected, but not really. There was a previous comment on a previous stream that we sort of ignored related to capes. And why haven't capes been added to the game just yet? And then I've always thought the reason is because they don't have the ability to have graphics that have these like little flowing sort of fabric-y looking things. But then I saw it on the Drake.
Maybe it's not quite what you think it is, and it is just the beer, like Casper saying. I don't know. So why can't we have capes? Yeah, that's a whole other.
Yeah, why can't we have capes?
I don't know if we want to go down that route. Why do we not have capes? We don't have capes because we don't have capes. If we wanted to have capes, I'm sure they could figure something out. Come on, they would be able to figure something out. Is it a priority? Would you think, if we just break it all down, that capes would be a priority for this game?
I guess I'd have to say
what would you accept? What would you accept as a cape? I'm sorry. Would you accept a straight, like, old-looking cape that's not flowing in the wind, because we don't have that ability in this game to have any kind of physics or that sort of thing? Would you accept that?
I mean, it would have to look somewhat like a cape.
It would look like a cape, but, like, you know, just not the way...
stiff cape?
A stiff cape.
You know, yeah. I
Would
wouldn't
you accept a stiff cape?
I wouldn't accept a stiff cape, I guess. It would have to have some kind of animation.
Would you accept, and this is just from the past, the way that they've created these sort of banners and stuff, would you accept a cape that looks like has the freedom, like, banner on it?
I'd totally accept that.
And then ones that had just ones that you could dye.
Yeah, like, I mean, as a start, I would accept a cape that had the freedom banner sort of flow, maybe slightly different, but like similar in its, you know, essence, and with the hope that over time they would add things like when I start moving, it does an extra little flip sort of thing. You know what I mean?
All right. So let's say they do that.
Yeah.
How much do you feel? Do you think it's worth the work?
Yeah, it might be something that is comes after UI and those sorts of things. But on the other hand, I do think it is worth the work. Once, you know, the rest of the stuff gets put in.
How about if it takes just as much time to get that working than it would have, like, bridges? Let's say they can do it. They've got to spend like a whole whack of time to
Come
get,
on,
like,
I don't
the capes in there, to them to work with the different models, and to get them working, like get the whole engine in there, whatever they have to build that allows the whole animation of them. Because I don't think they have anything like this right now.
Yeah, capes. I can't see capes and bridges being on the same level of, you know, length of time to code.
They would have to get a skill set that they don't have right now, and that's some kind of animator, some kind of, I don't know, something that would allow, I don't know. They essentially have one person creating all the models in this game right now. He would have to stop everything that he's doing, concentrate on that, and then see if he can even concentrate on animating them, and then figure out a whole system around moving or creating that animation depending on the movement of the player.
You know,
and then
I agree with you. It is
having it like,
it is a lot of work, and
having it show to other people.
It's a lot of work. But then we would have
because we don't
capes.
have anything. But it would be a lot easier. Yeah. How about if it wasn't animated at all? I think that would make it a lot easier.
Yeah. I mean, if it had just a little bit of animation and you completely ignored the clipping issue, because, let's face it, everything else in this game clips anyway. Yeah.
Introduce an item that instantly has issues visually.
Every item that they introduce has visual issues.
Not all of them.
Everything clips in this game. Everything. Not everything, but yeah, lots of things do.
It would get in the way of backpacks and bags.
That is true. That is true. But I have a feeling that it would go on your back slot, so you wouldn't be able to equip a backpack on your back plus a cape. You'd have to choose one or the other.
That's true. Unless they did something.
Although they did add a
Right.
cape, they did add a cape slot. Did you notice that?
Oh, they did?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's my screen that's showing. Keep
Yeah,
forgetting.
it's your screen. Remember that.
Yes. So they have a back slot and a cape slot. It's right there.
So capes are already in the game. And by capes, I mean cape slot. The
Yeah,
cape slot
It's been
is
there.
already in the game.
It's been there
for a long
since they
time.
created this thing.
One day.
Yeah, one day. You know, really, I feel like they just need one slot for the back. You know, get rid of the cape slot, make the back slot look like the cape, and then either you can have a backpack equipped there or a cape.
What do you think? Okay. Yeah, I guess the whole cape thing. Yeah. It would be great. Don't know if they should. Back to crafting.
Okay.
I think I'd wrap
Were we
up the whole like Goblin Village thing just to say if they did something like that, and I think a lot of people would have concern that goblins or whatever, all the different monsters like trolls and whatever, they would take control of the world. You know, you just put a limitation on where they can go, how many of them they can have per server. You would have some kind of control over them not taking control of the whole world. But yes, it is a concern. So how do you control that?
Through
And
the
that's
code,
where
I
it
think.
came.
Okay.
Well, how do you make it so they don't control everything?
All right.
I think
You can program them not to. Okay. You think?
they should go and do the other idea that I had before.
Okay. Instead.
I think that both can coexist, but this
Okay.
one could potentially. I like it better,
Okay.
and that's having the player control when they want a big encounter to take place.
Mm-hmm.
So you had Casper, who went off to Epic to have epic slayings, unique slayings. And we don't have anything like that here.
Mm.
But why not? Why can't we have something like that here?
Well, we do have epic slayings.
We have rifts, and there
And
are
unique
now epic
slayings.
unique slayings
Like, what are you talking about
around
that they
these
have
days.
on?
We do have that. You're right.
What do they have on Epic that they don't have here? What are you saying?
You're right. We don't have. They did introduce that back. And the problem with those was that we would never be able to have the time to go and do that.
Right.
So a very Wurm thing would be to have it so that the player has control over when they want to initiate these kind of slayings.
Yeah.
And I think the idea, which I talked about a long time ago, and I still think would be a great idea, and this was way before rifts were even a thing in the game, would be that you could have these big I don't know, I don't want to call it encounters, let's say unique encounters or mob encounters, by making it so you have to create or build a certain thing. Let's call it I wouldn't want to call it like an altar or something that allows you to summon a creature from something or other. So, and has specific guidelines. Do this, build some walls, build this item, meet these conditions. And then when you're ready, with the amount of players that you have needed to start this, you would spawn the creature.
Or creatures.
Or creatures.
It would be like a mini rift.
Yeah, that you have control over spawning based on the amount of items, like the conditions of what you would need to build and create in the game to start your little mini rift thing, or your encounter. And I would say there should be different ones for different encounters, so you can control somewhat what kind of encounter that you're gonna have based on the conditions or the things that you have to build, where you build them. So you can have like one, if you are underground and you build such and such in a mine, you will get this kind of encounter. And if you're by the water, and you do this thing, you'll get this kind of encounter. And when you're up on a mountain and you do this thing, you'll get this kind of encounter.
And then each encounter, I guess, could be like different difficulties, so you can decide which one to do based on how many people you have.
And you can control that maybe based on what you're building. So if you build this and it's like the bigger thing of building, then you'll get the bigger encounter, and then you'll get the bigger rewards, whatever they are. And it would be like a one-time thing. You build this whole thing, it spawns whatever. But by spawning all that stuff, or the rift, if we bring it into the whole rift system, the whole rift encounter would destroy what you've created. It'd be like one time. You built it, you spawn them, you have one chance to kill them, and then at the end of the encounter, what you've built is sort of destroyed.
Right. Yeah, that'd be cool. I really like that idea when you proposed it earlier. I mean, it fits our playstyle, that's for sure.
Because now you're doing, I think, two things. Okay, with the rifts, it's just something that's kind of imposed onto the world. We've got no choice. It's not controlled by the player at all, and it's time specific, which doesn't work for basically most people. I would say so it's location specific and time specific, the two things players cannot control at all. And if you gave the players back that control, people can now run their own events for their alliance, for their village, for whatever, for their kingdom, public ones, like whatever they want now. They can have their own events, they can post it. The thing about Wurm is not a game of, I don't know, quick events happening that happen in a way that forces us to have to play. it's like the long game. It's very controlled. It's essentially the same idea as the rifts. Just one, it's more in line with what Worm is, which is building and crafting and terraforming and all that stuff. And it allows the players to have control over the event. Control over the time of the event. And it could introduce like different varieties of these rift encounters. Maybe introduce like, who are these people? Why are they invading?
You know, I suppose they would need some kind of way of limiting how many you do, right? Because you can imagine if
By the time that it takes to build these.
Sure, I suppose, but I mean, there's definitely got to be some kind of. Let's suppose it takes 3,000 items to put into this thing to build it. You could imagine a group of 10 people who are highly skilled, who can whip 3,000 items into, you know, in an hour, let's say. And then they do this for 12 hours a day, every day, for the next year, for example. You kind of have to like account for that kind of play style and make sure that those people aren't able to, you know, saturate the market, saturate the game with a ton of the rewards that you would get from these sorts of events. But I'm sure that the devs can come up with a way to, you know, make it so that there's sort of some kind of cooldown, or I don't know what they can do, but somehow limit the amount of times that you can do these sorts of things.
I don't think that would be too hard to do.
Yeah, no. I don't think it would be too hard to do either.
Even if it is like some kind of timer or that gets introduced after one's created or initiated by that player, by that alliance, by whatever you want. Maybe you can only do them on village, and that village can only do
one a day, or
one or whatever they want, or like they got lots of options.
Yeah, and Fablecraft has a good idea
to do it.
Could require hard to come by materials to initiate it.
I would say, in order to make this worthwhile, I think that there should be different varieties, different rarity of encounters. I mean, it's got to be a whole system where it's easy to get into, but hard to master, hard to maintain, hard to get. So there should be some encounters that are very easy to do, and that provide less reward. So to get people into the system, get people used to the whole idea of doing something like that. I'd love it for it to be like a big story. Get the whole idea of the rift.
So do you want to switch gears up here and switch something that we're going to do? Like maybe we can go just adventure and look around to the area. Want to do that?
Yes.
Okay,
sure.
Let's do that. Because surface mining is only entertaining for so long. And that has long since passed.
That is true.
Oh, I'm down a hole. All right, so let's go get our horses.
Before we go out,
yeah,
I want to just quickly peek into our house.
Okay. Sure. What for?
And I want to designate certain parts of the house to each other and get that out of the way.
Okay. I mean, I think that it's each of us is going to get a floor. Is that
All right,
still
there are
happening?
3 floors.
Okay. You remember how to get down? Okay, here
Yes.
it is. Yeah.
All right, so here's floor 1. It's got wood and wait, what are these now? Sandstone slabs. They were not sandstone when I made them. I didn't even destroy these openings.
Well, let's not just yet.
All right, so here's floor 1.
Because just in case, let's say, like, we do still have the option of changing the walls if we wanted to.
That's true. That's okay. And then you go down another level. And
Yeah.
here's floor 2.
Yeah.
I think it's all stone.
Yeah, and slate floors. Is it stone floors?
No, stone floors, yeah.
Okay.
And then there's floor 3.
Right. Yeah, no, it's not slate brick. It looked like it to me too. I guess it's just because of the
Yeah, it's
lighting.
just stone brick.
Yeah, it's just stone.
So here's floor 3, has no floors.
Right. It wouldn't take too much to put floors here, though.
Right. Which level would you want all of your stuff to be on?
I'm really open to any, to be honest. I don't have a preference.
All right. Well, and which floor do we... Okay, so here's a better question. Which floor do we leave not decorated
Right.
for now?
Yeah, so we got to pick 2 floors to get decorated out of the 3 floors. The question is, do we pick the top 2 or the bottom 2?
What would make more sense?
It's hard to say. It's like the bottom floor is closest to the mines, which I definitely kind of want to be working on at some point as well. Yeah, the top floor is closest to the rest of the village. I don't know.
All right. Which one makes most sense? Let's say
Okay.
we do the bottom level
Okay.
because you want to be close to this mine here.
Sure. So I'll take.
So
the
you
bottom
go down
floor.
into the mine. Does that make sense? Or are you going to be close to something down here that...
Well, eventually the boat mine. Wow, look at this place. It's just as I left it. I did set up my son over here.
Really?
Yeah, because he wanted to do some blacksmithing. So I brought a forge down for him and some wood.
Nice rare forge.
Well, I have a couple extras. I've also started, see this little extra extension. This is where
this one mine tile.
Yeah, the one. It's this is the way that I think we're gonna go down to the, water. It's
I
down,
see.
down there. This building could easily be changed, but it's hard to say what we should do with it. Should we build it up?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah, we left a lot of
figure
work
something
undone
out.
here. Yeah. It'd be nice to get this all done.
It would.
And it's already, like, I would say, at least halfway in terms of like the amount of work that's gone into this so far.
Yeah, the arched walls on the iron veins, that is essentially just for the ability to mine them.
Yeah, it's the ability to just eventually get rid of them, get rid of the iron veins.
Yeah. All right, so back. So you said you would actually like this bottom floor.
Sure, yeah, I'll take the
That
bottom
seemed
floor.
okay.
Yeah,
So
that's not bad.
what would it mean if I took the top floor and had the middle floor not built?
That'd
That'd
be
be weird.
kind of cool. That wouldn't be weird, I think, because then at some point we can both collaborate on the middle floor and we sort of each have our own sort of entrance to that middle floor.
All right, so this becomes my floor that I have to deal with.
You know, everything can be changed, right?
It's true. That's okay. I definitely can see possibilities. We'll have to make a decision on small rooms or just one large room or large-ish rooms.
Well, that's each of our own decisions, right?
Yeah. Lots of possibilities.
I've already got my thoughts about how I'm going to go about it. Got to work out some plans, but I've already been
I
thinking.
have some ideas. But there you go. Those are our floors. I think a lot off camera or on personal streams we can start thinking about what we want to do and maybe even build some of it up.
Yeah.
Pick some of the items that we're going to go into it. But I think for now, I really, really want to see, adventure around and see some of these things that you keep talking about.
Sure.
I hope you know where they are.
Yeah. I mean, well, one thing that we want to go look at is Deathwind's mountain that he talked about last time, because that looks kind of cool. Here, do you want to just take the wagon? Or the cart, I mean?
Sure.
Or do you want to take individual horses?
Do we need the cart?
We don't need it.
We can just do horses.
Okay.
Which horses are the ones that are... I think this is mine.
Okay, yeah, that's right. You know, I think I'm due for one of those age-reducing potions.
What happened to the times when we had to actually choose horses?
Like a new horse?
A new horse.
Yeah. Okay, so our option is to go look at that chasm first, or to go look at Deathwind's mountain first. Which one?
What's closer? I feel like a chasm would be less time consuming.
Okay, let's do the chasm. It is pretty close. So this is a project that our alliance did maybe a year or two ago, probably 2 years ago now I think about it, where some people that were inland decided they would like to have access to the water. So there was always this boat tunnel that kind of connected to the water from back here-ish. But then there's some people who lived way down the way this way. I'm wondering if... Here, okay. Are you following me? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this area was the start of it. Okay, so this used to be a tiny little pond.
Ah. Was it man-made?
It was it was a natural tiny little pond right here. And this cave was made.
Wow.
That connected the boat mine to this little pond where somebody's deed was here, so they could take their little rowboat or nar or whatever and sail it right to this little pond. And then somebody decided they would like to connect to that pond this long. You see this like this? This was all you. This was like a
Yeah.
big like this was just a crater before. So they dug all the dirt down, and then they started surface mining, and they just surface mined all the way down to the water.
How far is the water?
It's far.
Oh wow.
It goes really far. And then they built bridges across it, and that connects people's deeds that are on either side. There was a lot of surface mining. A lot of work went into this thing. So yeah, you can see how much rock,
Wow.
like how much rock there was. This all used to be just land connected.
I wish there was a way for us to. We would have to have a boat here
Yeah.
just to see how it is.
I wonder if we can get over there to that bridge.
The other side looks like
The other
there's a
side.
road.
Now the other side also had a small little pond. It was like there used to be these two little ponds that were separated by this long stretch of land that was pretty high up in comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Are you following me here? Yeah, there you are. I think we can go around this way, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite insane what they decided to do. And I helped a lot with it. Yeah, so where the water ends there, it's just, I can't even tell if I'm seeing it right. I think it's just over here. That's where the water ends. There used to be a tiny little pond over there, and the rest was all land. You see that road there that's sort of going below that bridge? That second bridge? Yeah, that was the regular land. Like that road there used to be the road that they connected it, because all of this was land. All of it was land. So there was a road that connected. And so they dug down the road and then replaced it with this bridge. Yeah, isn't that
So at this
insane?
point, so all these people can take a boat to what, a boat mine?
Yeah. So anybody who's living in this area over here can now build a boat. They have a little like access to the water, and they can sail, down the river and into that cave, which leads out to the, main water.
Wow.
There's quite a few people who live here. This is our entire alliance. Like, we're in the heart of our alliance right now. So there's a whole bunch of people who live on either side of this river, and they all contributed to this project.
That is really crazy.
Yeah. It was amazing to see it on the updated Xanadu map. When Xanadu updated its map, it's like, there it is.
You can see the water.
You can see the water. It used to be two little ponds, and then they just connected it with this massive river. It took a long time. Yeah, it took a long
How
time.
long do you feel like it took?
Probably well over a year of multiple people contributing to it. There was a good several months where I was actively working on it with them. And then other things started happening. Like, this was around the time when we started Linton.
Oh yeah.
So Linton took me away from this project. But yeah, people just kept going. Like, when I left, it was pretty close to being connected. Like, we were right near the ending of. We just had to surface mine the last little bit down, and there's some ramps that needed to be worked on. But yeah.
So which mountain are we looking at?
Okay, so the one straight ahead of us.
No.
I don't know for sure, but it's the only mountain that's in this area. It's the closest mountain to us. And I know somebody's been working on this path that leads up.
How do we get there?
Okay, so I'm pretty sure we can get there from over here, if we could keep going this way. To the left of us is Snow Hill. And oh wait, now we're going through now we're going through Kilroth's deed.
Ooh.
You must recognize this
Shouldn't
place.
there be a deed? Yeah, yeah. Yep.
And then they built this bridge. Yeah. See, this deed right on the end here of the water is actually the only deed in the area that's not a part of our alliance. Okay, so I'm not sure how to get up, to be honest. If I had to guess, I'd guess this way.
Let's give it a shot. There's got to be an entrance here somewhere.
My second guess would have been that mine entrance.
You think just that mine entrance? Or this one?
No, this one doesn't look right. So let's try this ramp to the right here. Because this looks promising.
Sort of right.
I mean, it's going up. That's the only thing that is telling me it might be the right way. Yeah, this looks... Now we got 2 ways to go.
I mean, this mountain is quite high.
Yep.
Oh no. Which way?
Okay. There's a portcullis up here. Somebody has a farm over here.
Can you see anything here?
Okay, this is open.
I don't feel like this is the way. This
It's
is
possible.
someone's village of Hell's Reach.
This is Grimaldus.
Let's go the other way.
You don't think that this might lead to something?
I
No.
don't think so.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe I can see it, though, from here. Huh. How do we get up there?
The other path?
It's still very possible that that mine entrance goes through the mountain and then comes out up here somewhere.
Well, it's this whole path.
The other path? Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. It's got to lead somewhere, I would
Okay.
assume.
Let's try it. I mean, this ramp has been a work in progress since we moved here. I remember people starting this ramp a long time ago.
Yeah, this is a crazy ramp. Just keeps going.
This is the reason why I don't want to live on a mountain. It's like, just to get anywhere, you have to get down the ramp.
Wow.
I remember. Do you remember Milo
wow.
Sanks? His deed was on the top of a mountain,
Yeah.
and he created a drop shaft that was so far. That was his way of getting out of his deed. He just jumped down this drop shaft. Took him right to the bottom.
Wow. I think at this height, I could probably see our deed.
Yeah, and this is what I think Deathwind was saying. He was like, I can see you guys. Can definitely see New Haven.
Can you see our deed from that height?
Can we see our deed from that height?
Or can you pinpoint which one our deed is?
Yeah, I can definitely see the land formation right in here. That is our deed, but the buildings were too far away for the buildings to render. But you see all that? Do you see that all that rock? So if you're watching my stream,
Oh, yeah.
if you're watching the stream, you can see all the rock there. That's where we're surface mining. And then that path there is what leads up to the village. Would a spyglass work? It probably would.
But do we have one?
I do.
I do have one. I do have one.
But how do I do it? I have to activate it and then spy.
Yeah.
There we go. So yeah. Yeah, the buildings aren't rendering, but there's that rough cobblestone path. And you can see where it turns into this rock face.
Mm-hmm.
That we're surface mining right now. So yeah. There's our deed from over there. Okay, let's see.
That's kind of cool.
Does this... Oh my goodness. This path goes really far.
Wow. I feel like I'm pretty high, like I'm really high up right now.
Yeah.
And I look up. Just look up that path where you are right now.
Like up this path?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's far.
Isn't that crazy?
And then it comes back, it doubles back on itself.
Oh. Yeah, and then what you're seeing is not even like a piece of it. It's just like a small piece of it.
Right, I wonder how much farther this goes up.
Really.
Oh look,
really
there's
high.
like there's a terraformed spot, dirt thing up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the way. Somebody's made... So if this isn't where Deathwind was on our last stream, then I don't know where he was. But he definitely said he was on the top of a mountain and that he could see like our deed. At least the area
This
of our
is
deed.
not got to be easier than just mining your way up.
Right. And yet the mountain is like super tall still compared to where we are.
So, I have made it to the top.
The top of the terraformed area?
Yes.
And it doesn't go any farther up?
It does not.
Okay. I'll be there in a second. Okay, so this is the top. Is there anything up here?
Come take a look. Come take a look. Other than some scary views.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so
There's
glad
nothing.
we're on a horse.
I see. So whoever made it this far probably thought I'm done. But they could, I guess, continue up this way if they wanted to.
They could. However,
They might have to make a landing out this way a little bit more. And then go
even
up.
though you know it's a game, and you know nothing bad will happen if you fall off. And that is a far way.
Yep.
Look at that.
And you can see that little house area that we were walking through earlier. Grimaldus's place.
Oh, okay. That was a nice, even though it wasn't where we wanted to get to.
Yeah, I guess
That was
Deathwind
crazy.
isn't up here. Was this the path that we were seeing, the terraform path, or was there another one?
It was, yeah.
This is the one.
And I really, really need to get down.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we'll be down really quickly.
In comparison.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still getting stuck on all the corners.
Still be alive.
There was a
is
suggestion that I
something
read.
I could never have done.
Yeah, in real life.
Yeah.
There's a suggestion that I read about an improvement that they can make to horses where you have a piece of equipment or something, or maybe possibly a trait, where it increases the speed at which the horse turns.
That'd be nice. That or increase going uphill, the speed.
Yeah.
I think that they can improve the animal husbandry system so much.
I mean, it was one of the pillars of Wurm that we mentioned that we came up with.
Yeah, I think it's a big one.
I think it's a big one too.
I would argue that is one of the biggest ones that they have not fully taken advantage of.
Mm.
Because you come into this game and you do blacksmithing, you feel like the system is polished. You feel like it has depth to it, and it's has a whole lot of, I don't know, a whole lot to do.
Mm. This is
But
the deed.
you look
Black
at
Hill.
animal husbandry, and it feels like it's lacking.
Yeah.
Sorry, which deed was it?
This is Black Hill. It's the one deed that's been here forever that's not a part of our alliance.
Oh, wow.
I feel like it's the only one not part of our alliance.
With a sign that says, "Due to poor business, I have moved on. Thank you for your
Yeah.
time."
This area looks like it's open. This flat area that used to be a deed. I'm sure somebody could
yeah.
fit a deed in there. And there's probably a lot of areas like that in this area, in this place.
Fish file cart.
You know, I kind of want to take a peek at Lunadu's village.
Which part?
You know,
All of it.
well, there is the part in the back that is hidden, but that's mostly farming and back alley pathways that lead to the newbie village area. But I'm talking about the main decorated part because she always works on that area and it's always evolving. We can look at it and compare it to what it looked like the last time we did this on stream. Are you still with me?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Okay.
Are people building on this land?
Where? Oh yeah, this is...
Yeah.
Is this... This very well could be validates. Let me see.
Shady Vale.
Shady Vale, yes. Validate, I think, took Shady Vale.
Really?
I think, or if he didn't take Shady Vale, he took a spot near it. But let's
Yeah,
take
I thought
a look.
this was all like dead and
Right.
abandoned.
Right.
Oh, I love these doors, and I can't.
Yeah. Validate. Validate
I
took it.
love these doors.
Yeah, the portcullis doors, the wooden
Yeah.
ones.
I don't see them nearly enough.
Yeah, they do look
So the
cool.
only thing I remember about Valiance is terraforming this place. And then
yes,
building that
validate.
one.
Validate's in the chat right now, where this is his deed.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Is Valiance building is terraforming this place forever,
Yeah,
and then building that one castle in the back corner.
yeah. I mean, he did have plans for this whole place. It's just one of those things where you spend a year terraforming, and then you get to the point where you're ready to start building, and then, you know, that's around the time when projects stop, start getting,
Yeah, the wood portcullis doesn't really fit with many things. Maybe they can fix that.
Add new things to make wood portcullises look well with.
Yeah. It would
Okay, so
be
that's-
nice to be able to build like a barracks type castle house or something
Okay.
out of wood. Instead of wood houses looking just like cabins or something.
Right. Make it look more like a wooden beam, like wooden beams stacked on top of each other or something like that.
Just different levels of buildings. That would be awesome. Different tiers. You could have the basic wooden, and then you can unlock the ability to have more.
Okay.
That's not the way that they went, though.
Right. So now we're passing our place again, but Luna Doo's place is right up here. You know, we did this. The deed that was right next to ours. It was Validate had it, and he let it go. And he told me, you know, you guys can expand this, like, to the, I guess it's to the north. The problem is that our perimeter and Luna Doo's perimeter touch by one tile towards the north.
No.
Let me see if I can find it here. It's like, this is when the perimeter of Haven Heights. Okay, it's somewhere here. Okay, so perimeter of Haven Heights is this, and it's like our perimeter. Right here it is. It's right here. So the perimeter of Haven Heights stops right on this corner. This corner right here. This is the corner of perimeter of Haven Heights. And right here, there's nothing, right? There's nothing on this tile. You see an old and shriveled apple tree, but right here is the last tile of our perimeter, and they're right up against each other. So we can't expand that way just because of this one tile spot.
That sucks. That sucks.
Yeah. That's okay.
I like all of the different kinds of fencing.
Right here, you're passing it. Yeah, you're passing it. You're passing the entrance. You I guess you could enter there too. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I like this whole area, this entrance, the unfinished palisade gate.
Mm-hmm.
Looks great now.
This is yeah. It's all looks different every time I come here. It's like she does all this extra work to make it look. She adds all these things that make this place look alive.
I think that's what I'll just come here to get inspiration.
You know, this is where I did
for
come
our
to
little
get
decoration project.
Got inspiration from this place to build the Factional Fight village.
What is the tower with the large tub on it? That looks like...
It's an unfinished archery tower?
Oh, that looks like a house, 1-by-1 house, 2 stories high, with an unfinished archery tower placed inside of it.
And she used
the
T arches.
Yeah, and then having the tubs on the top.
Oh, right. It's two stories high.
It's 2-story high house.
Yeah.
Just having that unfinished archery tower just gives it that extra change that makes it just look completely different.
Mm-hmm. I know. All this extra little detail she puts into each nook and cranny.
There's a lot of outdoor detail.
Mm-hmm. I think the indoor detail is just as much. If you take a look, like look into this, in the window here. She's been definitely placing items on top of items. Like she has like a bunch of onions on that table. Oh, you can go in there. Okay.
Are there just like shelving racks these days that are empty?
Shelving racks?
Empty shelf.
Yeah, empty shelf. Yeah,
there is empty shelves. Okay.
So she has 3 empty bookshelves in the back there, and then she just fills them with all this stuff.
Oh wow.
Hey, new rubric, how's it going? This is a member of our alliance. Her name is Luna Doo, and this is her deed. She uses this deed to invite newbies. So there's tons of new players who become members of this deed, and she's decorated it up. Like, this isn't the only house. There's like probably a dozen houses that are just like this in terms of how well they've been
Leather
decorated.
adventure cap. I wonder, do items decay on these shelves? Like if you put like your armor on it.
I don't know. I don't think so, though. I think they fall under the decorative. You know how decorative items don't decay anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Right. So this is one item, like one room, and then you go into this other building, and it's probably just as. Oh, this building's locked. Let's see if we can peek in the window. Right, just as much stuff in that one. Let's see, can we go in here? No. Yeah, obviously several of these buildings are going to be her personal buildings, but you can peek in there and you can see all decorated. Oh, you got in there somehow. Of course, you just went through the front door.
Yep. Yep, I did. It's the secret entrance, the front door.
You see how like this 1x1 space, it's just a 1x1 space, and yet she makes it look like it's a dining room.
Can you create picnic baskets?
Yes, you can create the straw ones.
Did not realize that.
Oh, we found the stables. All the new baby horses. And
These
in the
are
back,
a lot of horses.
yeah, and in the back there is the farm, the hidden farming area.
Can we get there? Probably not.
Can we get there? Oh yeah, here we can go this way. I'm actually getting kind of lost, but no, never mind. We're going
There
back.
should be an entrance here.
We're off deed. No. That's locked.
Well,
I know how to get there. It's back this way. Yeah, there's definitely more to this deed than this little path. I just find this pathway, this little area, to be the most, just as incredible how much care has gone into. And this one tile alleyway back here that leads to even more buildings. And each one is decorated just as much as the next. Like, yeah, it's incredible. But the back area... Are you able to go through this fence? Yes? Yeah.
yep.
Okay. Huh. They made a little HH for Haven Heights, which is the name of the deed. So this back farming area has a little bit of everything. A little bit of, fruit. Actual farm tiles. This used to be farm tiles, this moss.
Can't get through there.
That's probably, yeah. The deer sanctuary. That's what they called this house. The deer sanctuary. Yeah.
Can't get out of there either.
If we keep going down this way.
Did Nightshade keep playing? No. No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, she used to get into decorating, you're right. No, she sold her characters. Including that super crazy Uber priest. Can you get through there? Yeah? Can you get through here?
Yeah.
So what I'm curious about, and this is another thing that we did on the last stream, is back here is the newbie area. So Lunadu set this whole area up. It was completely off deed, and she would bring people over there to start building. Or to just build. And she created plots for everybody. and it just at one point it was very bustling. Like, you know, there was like a half a dozen people on at any given time back here, each working on their own little plot, and it was all off deed. And I remember at one point or another, somebody deeded the whole place. I'm wondering if it's still... So here's Melissa Blueflame. I know Melissa Blueflame plays. Is she on right now? No.
Village of Freedom Village.
Freedom of Village of Freedom Village. Okay, yeah, Freedom Village. You're right. So yeah, this is all on deed now. And they planted a ginormous deed. Ginormous. And look, it's all like decorated just the same. You can tell people, you know, you can tell that Luna Do has had her touch here. Yeah, so new players or other, you know, players who are looking for an alliance to join. Our alliance is pretty active. Like, as you can see, there's, even at this time, there's some decent numbers. And there's new players and old players alike. And there's, I'm sure, plots on this place that you can get and be in a little community of players.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And if you keep going this way, you get to that chasm again. Like that, the surface mining project is right over here. Like this leads to it. Right, this is one of the bridges.
Which side of it?
Yeah, like the, I guess the north side. This bridge here goes over it.
I see.
Right, there it is.
Wow.
It's just amazing, this water. It's amazing what they did there. I just baffles me. Now, it was after the surface mining changes. So it was a lot easier to do. It's a lot easier to do something like that now than it was before.
And it still took how long?
Yeah, like a year.
A year after they did the changes.
Yeah.
I think people are scared whenever they hear people say that they're going to make the game easier, and their mind instantly jumps to like, oh, we can't make it more like Minecraft, or we can't make it more easier.
Right.
But they made it easier and still can take over a year to do something like that.
Right. It just means that you can take on a bigger project.
Right.
That's what it means. And when you're on a server like Xanadu, bigger projects are what are needed.
It's like if they just made the game slightly faster in everything that you do. People would just be able to finish their projects.
Yeah.
Well, that gave me some inspiration, definitely, for building or decorating. Oh, I feel like we're just complete amateurs when it comes to decoration after looking through that.
I mean, after looking through that, the lesson that I learned is that you can take a tiny space, like a 1x2 or even a 1x1 little space, and make it into something that looks really nice. You know, and it makes it look like a full room is in that 1x1 space. You don't need a 3x3 room, you know. In fact, 3x3 rooms are really hard to decorate because of how much space there is in that. Yes.
So let's take on a 6x.
How much space do we have here?
Let's see, we've got 3
This is a 3x4. Just this little area here.
By 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3 by 8 with an extra 2 by 4.
2x4, you're right. I was actually looking at this as a 4 by, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A 4 by 5 with an added 3 by 4.
What are we going to do?
Well, what we're going to do is make little hallways that lead into little spaces and decorate each of those little spaces.
Is that what we're going to do?
Well, that's
each of us will have to think of something. Is that what you're going to try to do?
I mean, I've already kind of laid out kind of how I want it to go. I spent a little time looking at it.
Right, and at the end, people can rate which one is better.
Mm-hmm.
I'll figure something out. I think we really have to up our game here.
Yep.
With decorating.
For sure. What I'm really excited about is how much stuff there is to do. Like, it's a little overwhelming, but at the same time exciting. I got a lot of projects, and I like it when I'm in that situation.
This game, there's always, I think everybody would agree, there's always too much to do and not enough time to do it.
Yeah.
No matter what. And eventually you get to the end of whatever project that you're doing, of a project, but you always have something else lined up.
Mm-hmm.
And right now we're at that point where we have tons and tons of stuff here that we can do. And yeah, we don't have enough time. But maybe that's how all good Wurm players feel.
It's, what I like about it is that the project lasts a long time, right? We do these episodes, week by week, or however often we do them, and each time we get a little bit more done, and then the next stage happens, and it might take a year, it might take 2 years to finish the project, but at the end of it all, it's all done, and just it's kind of an incredible feeling to put in all that hard work and get it all done.
For sure. So I think moving forward, I'll probably begin decorating. And going through that, we'll have to deal with the materials and that sort of thing. So yeah, look forward to all of that in our coming episodes. How do you feel, Adam?
Feeling good.
All right. So
actually, before we end, I kind of want to throw this out there. I know I've thrown it out there already. I'm kind of interested in, if I do get a chance, to streaming other games. I know I've seen Catspur is streaming Clash Royale. And I also play a lot of Overwatch. And I was thinking of streaming one of those two games. Not sure which. And I don't know when. And I don't know if, how long. But it might come down to just, whenever I get a chance. I don't know what your plans are right now, because we are going to end our stream, because we've been streaming for a while now, and it is coming to an end. But I might just turn it back on right now. What do you think about that?
What my plans are right now? My plans is to, if I was ever going to stream Wurm, I would, or if I was ever going to stream, I would stream Wurm.
Yeah. But I mean, like, would you guys be interested in me, like, for another maybe a little while anyway, trying a little bit of Clash Royale or something like that?
There's only one other thing that I love to do, but I don't think it fits into this whole Wurm streaming thing. or game stream. It's not quite a game, and it's not quite like it would just be me talking about this thing.
Right. It's you do spend a lot of time on this thing. What is that thing?
I do. Okay, I love people see me wearing like shirts and stuff every now and then, just like retro gaming or things in the background. I love retro gaming.
Mm-hmm.
So I spend a lot of time with retro gaming, but you wouldn't see me like sit there just playing retro games. I don't know. I can't. I don't see that being a fun thing. I like more talking about retro gaming and building front ends and that sort of thing. If people, it's interesting to me, but it doesn't quite fit into here.
Whenever you talk to me about it, it's all like technical jargon to me. And then when you show it to me, it just looks like, hey, look, I can pick whatever retro game I want to play and I can play it, sort of thing.
it's I don't know. It's more fun to me just talking about it.
Yeah.
And looking at it. Yeah, it doesn't quite. So for me, if I was going to stream anything, I would just be streaming. I would just be streaming Wurm, I would say. But yeah, go right ahead. Continue the stream. Bring it back up and play whatever you need.
Well, I will need a little bit of a break, and to get things set up about it. But yeah, I think I might turn it back on and play for another little bit.
All right, and then you guys will be able to watch Adam playing a different game. But at least for me, thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you guys in the next episode where we continue, hopefully, to show you guys the progress of our decorating venture and maybe a few other things as well that we haven't talked about in this episode.
I'm not sure how far we're going to get along on decorating this week, but yeah, we'll definitely work on something.
Yeah. All right, guys. See you guys later. Have a good one. See you next episode.